What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to another In the Rack with Swimhack. So this week we are just under 9 weeks out from the meet. And this week what we did, we basically took a light week and a heavy week and combined them. So I'm gonna show that to you guys in here in a few minutes. But if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn notifications on. If you guys are OGs, welcome back. You've been with me for a while. I know a lot of you have. I think we're up to like 12,400 or something. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in every single week because we are back on track. I know I took a little hiatus there for a little while, but I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. Had some personal stuff come up, just life got in the way. And you know, I was still competing and still training and stuff like that. It's just really hard to get you guys recaps sometimes, but I think I'm back on track. So I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. But gonna go ahead and jump right on into this week's recap video, show you guys what happened, and then come back and got a few Q&As and we'll wrap things up. But let's go check it out. All right, starting off my light week, day one here. Got my warm up. It's 407 here on the bar. So on my light week, we are backing it off to, you know, it's roughly 75 to 80%. It's not a traditional deload week, but we're definitely not going super heavy every single week just to give my joints a little bit of time to heal. So the first set on my light week was 425 for a set of 5. I'd be lying to you to tell you that this was super easy. I mean, obviously it looks very easy, but the deload weeks, I don't really bring it 100% as if I'm, you know, dealing with 550, 600, whatever. So it's definitely just a different feeling, different mentality going into it. But I definitely want to stay tight. Don't want to get hurt and be stupid. This is my top set here for the light week. It's 440, 200 kilograms for a set of 8. Could have paused them a little bit better, but I'm not too worried about it because the pauses on my top sets are great. This is more just kind of getting some volume in, getting the work in. As you can see, I slow down here as you know I get closer to the end, just the fatigue building up here. But you know, happy with it. So gonna move on. You got some tricep rope here, 50 pounds for 5 sets at 12, just showing 1 here. And this actually, you know, isn't super heavy, but the volume is really getting some good blood flow into the triceps. Being a close grip bencher, I am always working my triceps. So tricep isolation exercises are really, you know, not necessarily key to my bench, but I definitely want to keep the triceps healthy. I really focus a lot on the flies in the back just to make sure that I'm getting a good pop off the chest. Being close grip, I actually have a nice little lockout. So I'm not too worried about that. My dead zone, if you will, is in the middle. Working on the flies here, 35s for 5 sets of 10. Again, not too crazy heavy. This is a deload, treating things a little bit lighter. This week, you know, just keeping everything a little bit less on the joints. I don't want my joints to be clicking and clacking. As we start getting up into the 600s, the joints take a beating. And I don't care who you are, I don't care how much you weigh. 600 pounds is 600 pounds. And as we creep into the upper 6s, it definitely gets to be a little bit agonizing, if you will, just because the body's not meant to it's not meant to handle that kind of weight, not for long periods of time. So I definitely can deal with it for spurts of maybe 6 to 8 weeks. We start getting into the 10, 12 week range and it starts really breaking down. Got some 1-arm lat pull downs here. Again, just 50 pounds, nothing crazy, 3 sets of 8. The shoulders, I've been kind of toying with the angles on these just to keep the rotator happy. Sometimes it's just a little bit achy after everything else with bench and everything. So you can't see it on here on the video, but just kind of voicing over and giving you guys kind of some input. If you are doing these and you're starting to feel a little bit of achiness in the shoulders, just switch up your grip a little bit. You know, it could be that you're a little loose, could be that you're not pulling at the right angle for your particular anatomy. A lot of those things I'm constantly adjusting depending on how I'm feeling on a certain day, whatever I did before this, whatever I did before the workout. I mean, it could be a lot of things. So just keep that in mind. Moving in, got my heavy week. This was done literally just a few days later. Warm up, obviously 407 here for 3. You can see big difference in my mental state moving this 407 versus the 407 warm up on the light week. And this is going to move to my last heavy warm up with 501 on the bar. Definitely feeling good. Top set of the day, is not anywhere near a PR, but we are creeping the weight up slowly but surely. 556, so right at 560 or so for a double. My best double is 636, so clearly about a 80 pound or so difference. But again, it's not about PRs in every single training cycle with your triples and doubles and singles leading up to a meet. Those are nice, but it doesn't always equal a successful training cycle, especially going for that 1 rep max. But this is a kind of a shorter cycle. Took a couple months off, ramping things back up fairly quick, but I don't want to go too quick. First one, solid pause, good. Got a little bit out of the groove there and saved it. It went back over my face. I'll show you a different angle here. Held it a little bit just to make sure I was positive that I was going to make that rep happen. Going to show you guys the end rack version, bird's eye view. What you'll see is I actually come down at the right spot on my chest. There's no difference in the 2 reps or my normal reps, if you will. But when I came off my chest, it's just the order of the muscles firing off actually just threw it back over my face a little bit. Because I'm so in tune with my bench and how, where I'm at, I felt it right away and corrected it. It takes me a second. Obviously, there's the first one. Second one here, and right there you can see it goes back, and I pulled it forward and kind of back down. Corrected it, held it for a second just to hold that confidence, and went ahead and racked it. Strength issue is not a problem whatsoever. I've got speed reps here, 496. I was supposed to be for a triple. I just didn't feel that it felt right. Shut it down. It looks fine on video. Moving on to some banded bench. This is 341 with about 100 or so pounds of band tension. Last week, this was my second set. This week, I'm going to make it my first set. 407 for a triple here. This was actually my top set last week on speed banded bench. Got to move on and to make this the second set. Feeling good, pushing through that sticking point right there. And this is the top set with 473 for a triple. And I would be lying if I didn't tell you this was tough, but this is damn near 600 pounds for a triple. Actually, sorry, I put that as a triple, and that was actually a double. That was tough. All right, I've got 66 pounds here for some tricep push downs for a set of 10. And I believe one of these videos is going to cut off a little short. I'm not sure if it's this one, but this is going to kind of round out the triceps for the day. Got some neutral grip lat pull downs. 204 here for a set of 8. This felt really, really good, getting a good stretch at the top here. I like to use the multi-grips just to change up the angle of the back, changes the fatigue level a little bit. Sometimes I can squeak out a couple extra reps as I change the grip. The shoulders might be a little achy on one grip versus another. This is the wide grip, or actually not quite wide, but almost a wide grip with the same amount of weight for a set of 8. You can see it's just a little different angle there, but I'm able to just really crank out these back reps, really work these lat pull downs, feeling good. All right, got some banded flies. This is 65s for 3 sets of 12. I've got some band tension here just to give me a little extra work. Really working on getting a good stretch in those pecs. Not letting the elbows go too far and not letting those pecs get stretched out too far, because I don't want to get into a precarious situation where the pecs actually are being overstretched and not really work. So it's more like a bear hug. If you see how I'm doing these, it's really just working on keeping those pecs tight. But you'll see I'm going to do some burnout sets here, get those pecs really working. I've got some banded bench here. It's just about 155 pounds, plus or minus, 100 pounds or so, just with some wide grip bench, really just burning out those pecs, really getting that pec work in there so I get a good fire off at the bottom of the bench. All right, so I've got 110 pounds here for a set of 10. I believe this is the one that cut off that I was talking about earlier, just working those triceps again. Day 2, went over to Species Gym. Working on some deadlifts and squats. Going to open the day up with a 495 double overhand. That is not hook grip. That is literally double overhand. Going to go for 585 here and got it right about the knees. And that bar is just a crap bar. I'm sorry. It was just very, very slick. Went ahead and just said, you know what, I want to go ahead and complete a deadlift rep. So I just kind of got my double over under grip and finished out the deadlifts there with 585. Nothing crazy heavy. And I'm going to work in some pendulé bent over rows here. This is also double overhand. Going to start the day off here with 315 for 5. Getting a real solid grip there. Working that back, getting a good squeeze. Going to move up to 365, and this is also a set of 5. I like to switch it up occasionally. You'll see the gyms. I like to kind of get around. Obviously, I have a wonderful home gym that I love to go to. It's very convenient. But I like to change the scenery every now and then just to kind of change it up, change up the equipment. Obviously, I should have taken my own bar on this day because this bar has just been used and abused by this gym. So we're going to move on up. We have 405 for a set of 5 here. Good stretch there. Starting to lose grip just a little bit because it's sweaty in there. Chalk was wearing off, but went ahead and finished that up. And we're going to go ahead and bump it up a notch. Got 455 here on the bar. Readjust that grip a little bit. I don't think we're going to get 5 today. We got 3 on this one. And that's going to shut it down for the back work. Now I'm going to switch it up. Instead of hitting regular barbell squats, I'm going to get some belt squats here and worked up to 315. I did a few sets before this with 135, 225 just to get some volume in. Really working on just the form, not too crazy about the weight. Again, we're not in a squat and deadlift cycle. We're not going too crazy. But these felt really good. The stimulus was just different. I felt my quads really engaging a little bit better, really able to open up at the bottom. So these are probably going to be something that I try to work in occasionally just to get some good blood flow. I did a few sets of this with the 315 and really felt good. Definitely burned me out, fatigued me. Just because I was really working on that mind-muscle connection, working the muscle, not the weight. So I was able to really just get a good sweat in on this particular day. Obviously burned out with, pre-fatigued with deadlifts and some back work. But definitely feeling good. The legs are still strong, ready for any cycle that I want to throw at them and do some crazy squat, when I need to. Working on some GHRs here. This is really good. Get a good swing here and keep that lower back working. This was a few sets later when I finally filmed it. I only got about 6 on this one and I'm just burned out, just tired. Obviously the gym's a little hotter than I'm used to. Had 140 pounds there for just the set of 6. Before that, it was had like 35 and 35, so about 70 or so, half of that. Got to move on to some leg curls here, or leg extensions here. 150 pounds to start off with a set of 15. Nothing crazy. This is serving as a warm-up. I like to, start each exercise, regardless of what I did before that, with some sort of a warm-up. So that I'm not going in cold, because obviously the stabilizers and different muscles are being used differently for each exercise. So I never like to just slap on the whole, stack on the new exercise and go for it. So we bump it up 50 pounds or so, hit a set of 8 after that first set of 15. Very little rest on this. This is really just working, really just getting a good workout, not necessarily strength workout today. If you notice just the difference between my bench workouts and my squat and deadlift workouts. Bump it up another 50 pounds, got 250 for a set of 10. This is where I'm starting to really feel the quads really, really fatiguing after the belt squats and deadlifts and things like that. Really feeling just feeling good. Shut that down. All right, so day 3, we got some shoulder and upper accessories, starting off with some banded Y raises. Really good for warming those shoulders up. This is good for warm-ups. This is good for cool down. This is good for days off when you got a little achiness in your shoulders. I tend to do this or a variant of this almost every other day of the week just because I need to get some good blood flow. All right, so we got my body weight here, 295 for 4 sets of 10 on inverted rows. Very good back exercise. I haven't done these in a while. Nice to throw them in the mix. So really working on just getting a good squeeze at the top. I typically use the same grip as my bench just to kind of work that same angle. Working some rear delts here. This is just using a band, so I'm just trying to get some tension on those rear delts and really squeeze back, really get those rear delts engaged. I really like working the rear delts, but I don't have a machine in my home gym, like cables, to really work it. So I've got some landmine presses here. This is the bar plus 55 for 3 sets of 8. These are good just to keep those rotators happy. Shoulder press, they don't need to be super crazy heavy. Obviously you guys have seen me recently doing, almost 400 pounds on overhead press. I like to keep the shoulders healthy and guessing. At any given point in time, I'm pretty sure I can throw up 400 plus on overhead press, but that's not the goal at the moment. All right, so I've got some tricep ladder here. Basically just gonna set up at a fairly moderate height and try to get as many reps in each position as I can. And as soon as I fail in that position, we notch the bar up just a little bit to make it a little easier, but very little rest. I mean, this is maybe 2 or 3 seconds rest between each one. I think I went through 5 total sets here. Just kept the camera rolling here for you guys so that you see that there is very little rest in between each one. But this is a great tricep finisher. It doesn't take a lot. It really doesn't take a lot of equipment. I mean, you can do this pretty much on anything that you can adjust, or just get on your car, honestly. Just on the back of your car and on the trunk, just hit up some triceps. You may not be able to move up and down, but if you really want to work your triceps, that's a great way to do it. They are fully pumped after 100 reps. I mean, you can kind of equate that to, hitting 295 on a barbell for 100 reps. That's going to get some blood flow going. And I've got the last thing is going to be my shoulder shrugs, just getting those shoulders tight and nice, those traps built up, about a set of 15 here. But that is going to wrap it up. All right, so pretty easy, pretty simple, nothing crazy heavy. Pretty excited about how training is going. Things are feeling well, very much staying in tune with how I'm feeling and how my joints are feeling. I really think that this alternating light and heavy is definitely doing some good because I'm not feeling banged up on my heavy weeks. It's kind of funny because I feel banged up on my light weeks. I think mostly it's because it's a deload, and on a deload week, it is very hard to keep your mental focus and to get amped up for something that's subpar as far as your own performance, what you can do. I mean, considering I'm able to hit 550 times whatever on one week, and then on a deload week it's 400 something, 100 pounds less. I know I can do it because I just did more than that the previous week. And so going into it, I don't really bring the pain, if you will. It's treated almost kind of as a warm-up subconsciously, and it's hard to really just bring it. And a lot of the times I don't even take a pre-workout on the deload weeks. I have been lately just because I'm not feeling like I'm getting overstimulated, because I'm really not taking a pre-workout on every single workout day, just mostly the heavy days. But I think it's working out pretty well. We'll see, because we got to meet here on December 11th, I believe. I keep second guessing that because I think it's the first time I ever did it was on December 12th. And so because this is 7 years later, I keep getting the dates mixed up. But it's the second or third Saturday in December, first or second Thursday. Here I go. It's in December, so we'll just go with that number. I'm sure I'll put an edit on this video. But anyways, this is all brought to you guys uncut. I don't really cut anything on these videos. This is just me talking to you guys. But so I do have some Q&As for this week. I'll go ahead and jump right into those. I appreciate you guys submitting those to me. You can submit those via Instagram. You can submit them at Swimhack. You can submit them to me, email swimhack@gmail.com, or simply just drop a comment below and tell me what you're thinking. Ask me a question. I've got actually a comment and a question this week, so let's jump right on into it. First one is from Dean Blias, right here on YouTube, and asked, have you ever found forearm training to be helpful for a big bench? So yes and no. And I guess technically the question was really worded in a way, do I train forearms in order to support a big bench? The answer to that is no. I get direct forearm training when I'm doing any type of rowing movement. Obviously holding on to that, I get a big burn in my forearms. In fact, did training today with some back and doing some rows and even just bench. And I can feel my forearms just being very tight and very on fire. So I don't necessarily train them directly in order to have a big bench. I think having a big bench gives me big forearms. I think that's probably the other way to put it. But if I didn't feel that my forearms were stable in a bench, if I felt like I was getting a lot of motion, then I definitely could look into training forearms directly. So my answer for that, for my own personal training, is no, I do not train forearms for any direct purposes. But that is not saying that you may not need to. I do find that having strong forearms definitely contributes to being able to hold on to a big bench. Definitely contributes to being able to hold on to heavy rows, which contributes to a big back, strong back, big bench. So the answer to the question is no, I do not train directly. I do not train my forearms directly for the purpose of having a big bench. I think it's a direct relationship of having a big bench that gives me big forearms. So with that said, if you are trying to get bigger forearms, definitely work on some grip strength. You saw the grip train that I was using a couple videos back. If you haven't, go check that video out. I haven't spotlighted it yet, but here in the next couple weeks, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a little bit more in-depth grip training that's a little bit, does some forearm work, and that's definitely one thing that you can do if you wanna grow your forearms. But I appreciate that question. And the next one is actually not a question. It is from Ralph Johnson right here on YouTube. And he simply commented, dude should be powerlifting, his form is nice. So he saw one of my older videos on 500 for 10 and commented that. So that actually humbles me quite a bit. Tells me that you guys still are finding me out there, which is great because I am able to expose my knowledge and my journey with a lot more people. Obviously, I'm a powerlifter. Anybody that's on this channel that has followed me for any length of time knows that I'm a powerlifter. But it just goes to show that the general public doesn't know a lot about powerlifting, is not familiar with who the powerlifters are in the world. I commented back and I said, well, you should check out some of my newer videos. I'm constantly in the top 10 in the world. Not to say that with an ego, but just to inform him, hey, follow me. I really appreciate you humbling me that way. And basically, when somebody feels that they've arrived, I think that that's when they stop growing. So that is a lesson, not only to myself, but to you guys. No matter how strong you get, no matter how big you think your name is in the world, unless every single person knows who you are, you still have a lot of room to grow. And that's not necessarily for fame or fortune, but just exposure. If you want to use your platform, whatever that is, for the greater good, you always want to grow that platform. Some people want to grow their social media for money, for purposes, for business, and I totally get that, and I respect that, and I do that in some form or fashion with my different businesses, and even my training, online coaching, and things like that. The more followers I have, the more programs, I guess you can say, I can sell. I hate to say it like that because it sounds really cheap, but the more people you can help, the more people you're exposed to, the more people you can help. So thank you for that. Definitely humbling comment, but I hope you follow me, Ralph. If you're out there and you see this video, definitely smash that subscribe button, and I'll have plenty more information for you, and love to chat with you sometime about maybe your own powerlifting career or whatever you're doing in your own workouts. But that is it for the questions this week. Again, if you want to submit a question, it's easy. Comment below, shoot me an email, swimhack@gmail.com. And especially if you're not already following me over on Instagram, check it out, @Swimhack. Put a lot of my daily lifting videos, summaries, some of my older videos, just repost things that are going on in my family, things outside of lifting that I want to share with you guys, and love to have you guys follow me over there if you're not already. Kind of grow that platform as well. Hopefully, you guys, if you're already on Instagram or Facebook of all things, y'all didn't have too much of an outage the other day. We had a Facebook and Instagram outage for, I don't know, probably a day or so. But YouTube was up and running. So, you know, shout out to YouTube and you guys over here on YouTube. Definitely a place to be. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this week's video. I'm very, like, you know, I always say this, and maybe I should find another way to say it, but I'm definitely excited. I'm motivated. I am feeling great. My joints are feeling good. I'm getting a lot of rest. I'm keeping my stress levels down, and all that stuff matters. I know it sounds cheesy, but really, I mean, if your mind is not right and you're not feeling good, going to the gym might be able to offset some of that. But when you're actually training for like a 1 rep max or an all-time record or something that's really like a lifetime best, sometimes those things can get sidetracked with your, you know, whatever's going on in your life. So I definitely promote that. Not to the point of, you know, going crazy about it and heavily meditating. Not that that may not work for you. I personally find that there's a balance in there, and if I can expose you guys to that, knowing that there's a way to kind of navigate through the madness, if you will, of working out. It doesn't always have to be crazy, hardcore, you know, balls to the wall and just, you know, stupid. It can be methodical and calculated and smart so that you can do it at the best of your ability for a long time. Because I don't know anybody that really just wants to get in and be done with a sport after a year or two. Like, you want to continue to get better. You want to continue to have challenges in your life and have these things build up over time so that when you do hit that ultimate goal or whatever that is, it feels so much more deserved because you actually went through all those negative times, the trenches, and you fought it for so long. And what I'm talking about here is like the road to 700 pounds. This is really, you know, the accumulation of years and years and years of work that have gone into just putting everything on the line. And I really feel confident going into this meet that we're going to put up something big. Obviously, we got to have a good day. We got to have a perfect day. We got to have a great training cycle. And so far, so good. So stay tuned. This week is going to be a little bit lighter, but I'm going to actually combine the light and heavy week so you guys aren't really bored with kind of a recap for a light week and then immediately right after having a heavy week. So kind of like what this recap video was, it's going to have a light week mixed with a heavy week, and they're just going to kind of alternate. So you'll kind of have a twofer every week on the recaps. But really expecting this next heavy week to be in the upper 500s, getting close to 6 for some reps. And that'll put us about 7 or so weeks out, which is perfect distance from the meet to be able to really peak properly and hit up, you know, in the 620, 630, 650 range, and then peak right into the meet, and we'll see what happens. But this meet's definitely going to be set up for success. It's going to be right here in the southeastern Texas area. In December, it's not going to be cold, but it's definitely not going to be like 95 degrees outside like it was this summer, which is one of the things that kind of was a downfall, among a few other things. At the last meet, I was just hot and dehydrated. So that's kind of the reason I figured, you know what, let's do one in December and see if we can't play our cards right for this one. But, you know, you guys stick with it. You know, I appreciate you guys tuning in every week. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, like I said earlier, at Swimhack. Hit the subscribe button, like this video, share it with your friends, and I will see you guys next week. See you.